So this video is actually a gift to myself. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan Fox, and if you're new around here, I have been on YouTube for about 1 year. I am the mom of a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. And we recently moved to this new home, hence why I'm sitting in our sun porch again. It's the only room that's acceptable in our house right now with all the renovations going on and everything. And also I'm kicking it back old school by sitting here on the floor. One of the very first videos I ever made and filmed, I was sitting on the floor just chatting with you all. And that's what today's video is all about. So today I'm gonna answer some of my most frequently asked questions, because the reason I say this video is a gift to myself is because I've grown a little bit here on YouTube lately, and I've been getting more DMs, more questions in the comments section, and just like emails with people asking questions, and I cannot get back to all of them. I feel so bad for all of you who have reached out to me and just supported me, and yeah, I just am so thankful for all of you, people who ask innocent questions, and I just can't always get back to all of you. It really, really disappoints me that I can't do that, but guys, know that even though I can't get back to all of you, it's just a decision that I have made consciously. While I do feel bad that I can't get back to all of you, I guess I'm not gonna apologize about it, because I had to make some hard choices about sitting down with my phone to answer DMs or comments, or just being with my family. And guys, my family's gonna win out every single time. That is something that I don't ever want to have change. So if I'm not getting to one of your burning questions, I'm sorry. It's not that it's not important, it's just that my family is more important, if that makes sense. So hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from with that. But I thought if I make this video here, maybe when some of you ask some of those more in-depth questions, maybe I can refer you to this video where you can find the answers to some of your questions. I will put all the questions that I'm gonna answer down in the description box with a time code so that you can jump right to it in case you're one of those future people that I'm referring you to this video. You don't necessarily need to listen to the whole thing. Go ahead and slide down to the bottom there and find the question that you are looking for, and I'll try to answer it the best that I can. Anyway, if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing you are just curious to learn more about the Mennonites and their way of life, or just maybe you are a supporter of my channel and you like to hear me chat with you while you're working today or whatever. Whatever the case, whatever brought you here, I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so excited because this video is sponsored by Skillshare. And I don't know how savvy you guys are with YouTube and everything, but there's actually a community tab and an about page on my YouTube page here. And if you ever took the time to click on my about page, you'll see there that it says that I am an infomaniac and loves to learn new things and share them with my audience. So I thought it was so perfect when Skillshare reached out to me and asked if we could partner together in a video. So if you don't know anything about Skillshare, it is an online learning community, and I have been really enjoying some of their classes. I've listened to a class about interior design, also several classes about productivity and time blocking, things like that. And yeah, I'm just learning a lot. I never had the chance to go to college, and so it's kind of filling my need for gaining more knowledge. And Skillshare is super affordable compared to, taking college courses. And especially if you're in remote areas, it's a great place to go. You don't have to actually travel. It brings the courses to you, and it's less than $10 a month. Because Skillshare agreed to sponsor this video, they're also giving you guys an amazing opportunity to sign up for 2 months free on Skillshare. So click the link down below to check that out. Okay, so I think we are ready to get started with all these frequently asked questions. So they say when you start YouTube, you should find a niche. I never really did that. I'm just a mom channel, but I'm also a Mennonite, and so that makes me stand out a little bit. And some of you new subscribers are still asking lots of questions, so I thought I would just try to make this kind of concise. Here we go. People want to know, when did you leave the Amish? First of all, Mennonites are not just ex-Amish. I never was Amish, actually. I grew up Mennonite, my parents grew up Mennonite, my great-grandparents grew up Mennonite. As far back as I know, none of us were ever Amish. They're completely different groups, although we do share a lot of the same beliefs. So no, I was never Amish, and I've never left the Amish. Another question I get a lot is, what makes you so different from other Christians? And we are Christians. We just look a little different because we interpret some parts of the Bible a little differently than mainstream Christianity. But basically the point that I really want to get across is that we are followers of Jesus. We read the Bible and we believe that every word is for us today, and that we need to take it to heart and live it out. So that brings me to my next question that people often ask, which is, why do you wear that thing on your head? And what they're referring to, I guess, is what I would call my veiling or head covering. And I wear it because of what the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 11. Let me just read one verse to you. I'm not gonna get all preachy or anything. You need to definitely look into it for yourself. It says, but every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. And you can't just take that tiny little piece there and go off of that. You need to read the whole passage to get the whole idea. But basically that is why I do cover my head. And no, it's not like I think that people aren't gonna go to heaven if they don't cover their hair. It's just me following what I see in the Bible and trying to be obedient. And no, I don't believe that conservative Mennonites are the only ones that are going to go to heaven, but it is what I see the Bible saying there, and so I try to follow it the best that I know how. Along with that, I get this question a lot. When is Ivani, my daughter, going to wear her hair up and cover it? My daughter is 2 and barely has any hair. But the answer always is the same. I will let her choose to do it when she wants to. It's not like I will make her put her hair up at a certain age. It's just her choice. I want her to do it when she understands it and when she feels that is something that she's called to do and she understands what the Bible is saying. It's not a decision that I can make for her. And I just hope that someday she accepts Jesus in her heart above all else. And then after that, hopefully she'll be able to read the Bible for herself and see, oh, this is what God would like me to do. Will I do a hair tutorial is another question I get all the time. First of all, I'm sure all my friends that are watching this are thinking, Megan, give a hair tutorial. Yeah, that is kind of laughable because some days my hair is not so cute. But no, I'm probably not going to unless I like really run out of content or something. I feel like there's plenty of others out there, you know, on YouTube that you can watch. Not saying never, but yeah, probably never. Okay, this lighting is getting really bad. I think I'm gonna sit front a little bit. Maybe I should take a Skillshare class on photography. Anyway, hopefully this is a little bit better. Another question I get a lot is, do you like wearing your hair up or do you do it because somebody's making you? No, it is my own choice, and actually, yes, I do not mind it. I think a lot of people wear their hair up even if they're not Mennonites. You know, the whole mom bun is just, it's practical, guys. But also, another thing I really like about wearing my hair like this, besides the fact of practicality and keeping it up out of the way, is that it keeps me from doing a lot of things I probably shouldn't be doing. Like, what are people gonna think if I'm driving my car and I look like a Mennonite and I'm just laying on my horn at somebody? You know, maybe that's not necessarily wrong, but it's not very polite either, and I don't know, it keeps me from doing that. Or there's certain places that, you know, my carnal self would love to go to, and I know that I would look really weird and out of place at those places, you know, the way I'm dressed, and so that helps me to make those decisions a lot easier. There's one thing I don't love about it necessarily, and I feel like around here there's a lot of Mennonites. Sometimes Mennonites can hide behind their head covering and their modest clothing and think that, well, since we're dressed this way, we don't need to be a witness. People know what we believe, they know, and we don't need to say anything. And that's just a cop-out, it's just an excuse. So that's one thing that I definitely think my husband has an advantage over me. He doesn't stand out quite as much, so people have to see that he's a Christian through his actions and not just the way that he looks. Which is another question I get a lot of the time. Why does your husband blend in and you don't? I answered that question pretty well in another video, but I will say it again. I think it's just because society has come so far on the women's end of things. You know, women 200 years ago dressed very modestly, and look how far we've come even in the last, 50 years. Whereas men, it hasn't really changed much in, 200, even 300 years. And so I think that's why we stand out a little bit more, because society isn't modest, especially in the whole women's side of things. And so it's not necessarily that we are making an effort to look that much different. It's just that society has slid so far down a different path over the years, and now we stand out because of that. Okay, one more serious question, and then we'll get on to the a little bit more fun questions. I get a lot of, I don't know if they're trying to antagonize me or just poke my buttons, or if they're genuinely interested, but I get a lot of questions from people asking me about controversial topics and what Mennonites think about this and about that. And it's hard, first of all, to answer a question like that in a DM. And second of all, the answer is really simple. I believe what the Bible says, plain and simple. So dig into it for yourself and you'll find the answers. Okay, moving on to a different kind of topic. I've been getting this question a lot lately, and that is, how did you get so big? Okay, first of all, big is definitely a relative term. I'm very small yet, actually, if you compare, it depends what you're comparing. But at the same time, I'm grateful for all of you that take the time out of your day to watch my videos or listen to them while you're working. It helps our family out a lot, and it's so fun to put videos out for you guys. But I guess the answer that I would say is how I grew is I just did what all the other YouTube gurus say to do. I tried to be smart and to make sure I tag my videos and do good titles, spend lots of time on my thumbnail. But above all that, I think I try to just genuinely be myself. I think people will click on a video and right away know if they love me or hate me, and they'll either keep right on watching or they'll never come back again. And that's just that. You find your tribe that way, and it's totally fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and just like every other YouTuber out there relates to certain groups and demographics of people, I'm the same way. So if you happen to stumble across my channel and decided to stay, I'm very thankful for that. I hope that if you ever run into me in real life, you find that I am the same exact person. Yes, I talk this fast still in person, which is another question I get sometimes, which I will let you know right now how to slow me down. If you're watching on your phone, you can hit those 3 little buttons up there on the top, tap on them, and then it will say playback speed, and you can hit normal or 1.25 times slower, faster, whatever, and you can slow me down or speed me up, which I'm pretty sure you don't want to speed me up. But just thought I'd let you know if that's the only reason that I sometimes give you a headache or something is because I talk too fast. I find if I talk slower, it just comes out unnaturally and I sound like I'm performing. So I'm just gonna be myself and talk the speed I do, and you can adjust it to your liking. And then second of all, to go with that question of how you get so big is, will you do a video about it? No, I'm not gonna do a video about it. That's not the kind of channel that I am. I mean, I would love to help you out, but my channel is for moms mostly. I know my audience and I know that most of you really don't care. So if you would like to find more tips and tricks, there's plenty of good YouTubers out there with great advice. I watch Sean Cannell, Think Media. I watch Sunny Leonard Doozy and Channel Notes and Nick Nimmin, I think his name is. I'll put a bunch of those down below if you are a new YouTuber and trying to find some advice. And another reason I grew is just networking. A big shout out and thank you to Lynette Yoder, another Mennonite here on YouTube, who just took me under her wing a little bit and just, yeah, let me know that it was possible and I could do it. When I had decided originally to start YouTube, I didn't even know that other Mennonites did it, but when I found her, I was so happy to know I was not the only one and there's somebody else out there who was doing the same thing. So thank you, Lynette, I owe you one. Okay, so Mennonites love to cook. Food is a big part of our culture in general, and I think isn't food a big part of everybody's culture? Anyway, I post a lot of recipes in my videos, not necessarily like titled in the video, but like there'll be one mixed in the vlog or whatever. And I'll get a lot of questions sometimes on Instagram as well. Can you share the recipe for this or for that? And I share as many recipes as I can, but I'm not sure about all the copyright laws, but I do know that people who put cookbooks together put a lot of work into them, and I don't feel right just giving out the recipes for free. That's somebody else's work. So I try to only share recipes that I myself have tweaked and made my own version of. So sometimes when I don't share a recipe that you really want, I'm sorry, but Pinterest it, Google it, you'll find it. I love to find recipes on tasteofhome.com because they're all tested. Also, I think there's all recipes. I've used a bunch. Pinterest is a little iffy. I could tell you some stories. But yeah, just try Googling it and finding out for yourself. And I'll always put links down below too if there's any that I share that I can, link to. But a lot of my recipes come from good old Mennonite cookbooks. Another question I get a lot, which is kind of flattering, is can we meet up? And I'm honored that you guys would love to meet in person. But let me tell you the deal here, guys. YouTube takes up a lot of time. I work like 20-hour weeks. Let's just put it that way. 4 hours a day at least for 5 days a week, and that's to just get one video out. If I'm gonna do 2 videos, it's even more. So it does take a lot of time, and I don't think I quite understood that when I started, but I would still never go back. I'm so glad I did it. But anyway, you've gotta draw the line somewhere. And so my husband and I have decided that no, if somebody asks, hey, we're in the area, can we meet up? I get so many of those requests, how am I supposed to pick and choose? So I just say no. But yeah, if we ever run into each other, like accidentally while I'm out shopping or whatever, like that's awesome, that's so fun. I love when you guys say hi. But yeah, I can't just plan meetups with every individual person that comes to Lancaster County that asks. So maybe someday we could do like a group mom big giant play date thing or something. I don't know. I really don't have any ideas how that would work. But yeah, I am out a lot, for a mom of 2 kids. And so if you ever run into me, say hi. I always like that. Rather than sometimes I'll get like a DM or something and they'll be like, I saw you today at the grocery store, but I was too shy to say hi or whatever. And I'm always like, oh no, what was I doing? Was my daughter screaming? Or, sometimes we just don't have our shining mom moments. So if you ever see me in one of those stages, then you just know that I'm a real person, just like all of you. No day is perfect. But anyway, I do want to say I'm so thankful for all of you that support me, and I just wish I could meet up with all of you. I wish I could answer all your questions, and I feel actually genuinely terrible about it sometimes. But it's in those moments that I remember, no, I'm a wife and a mom, and then I'm a YouTuber. So I try to keep it in that order. Okay, this question I get not as often as the others, but I get it sometimes, and it really breaks my heart. I'll get questions from other, creators or Instagrammers or whatever, and they'll be like, what do you do when you get negativity from friends or family or whatever? And yeah, okay, you know what? This could get me on a whole soapbox. Okay, I don't get negativity. I'm a Mennonite, and Mennonites don't say mean things or negative things to each other. No, instead we say it behind our friends' backs and talk about it to each other, but we never actually would bring it up with that person. Guys, and I'm not just talking about a specific person because I think I do it too. It's just like a Mennonite culture. We hate confrontation and we try to be the quiet and the peaceful type of people, but then we turn around and gossip. It's just awful. And I think I admire some of those cultures where they just, let it out and tell you how it is. Sometimes you go into the inner city, with kids clubs and stuff, and they just let you know what they think. And okay, There's a way to be tactful and polite, but at the same time, be honest. I don't feel like I've ever experienced a ton of negativity to my face. I've heard some things come back to me through other people or things like that, but even so, all that aside, that's a Mennonite cultural issue, I'm thinking, and let me know. Is that something you guys struggle with too, talking behind other people's backs instead of telling them to their face? Oh dear, now I'm gonna have a whole bunch of people coming to me, to my face and giving me negative feedback. Oh dear. I think I just opened another can of worms. Anyway, my advice, if you are getting a lot of negativity, is just, does it make you happy? Is it worth giving it up just so people stop talking about you? YouTube for me, or whatever it is for you? No. If the answer is no, that it makes you so happy and you love it and you feel alive when you're doing it and you feel like you have a purpose and you're worthwhile, then what other people think is very teeny tiny and small, and you just can't let it bother you, because you'd be more unhappy if you stopped, if you know what I'm saying. So just be yourself, and there's nothing more attractive than somebody who is happy with themselves but not like self-absorbed, and just okay with themselves and the way they are, and yeah, just confident but not self-absorbed. And that's a fine line, and I'm still trying to find that line. But that's just my advice. I haven't gotten there yet myself, but hopefully that helps you out in some way if you are experiencing that in your life. So if God wants you to do it and your husband's on board, just go for it. Okay, one final thing before I close. I just wanted to let you know that if you did not subscribe yet, you can go ahead and do that here. It is completely free. Hit the subscribe button and then a bell is gonna pop up. And definitely hit that bell, because subscribing doesn't really do much except make my numbers go higher. What you want to do is hit the bell so that it will notify you. You can select if you want all notifications or whatever. Hit all, that way every time I put a video out, you actually see it. And also like this video and any other videos you watch on YouTube, not just my channel. That will definitely help the video to rise. If there's a lot of likes, that will let YouTube know to push the video out to more people, which spreads the word, which brings people to your channel and traffic. And yeah, so just do that for your YouTubers that you really want to support. I really think that they would appreciate that, and I know I would as well. Also, about commenting, some of you still aren't sure quite how to comment, or if you want to. Listen, you don't have to comment. I totally understand that some people just don't feel like making a public comment. So I totally get that. But if you would like to leave a comment, I always appreciate it. You can scroll down to the bottom. There's gonna be a lot of suggested videos under mine here. You scroll down to the bottom and you'll see where it says comment. Tap on that and go ahead and type whatever you'd like to say. I always love hearing from you guys. It makes it feel less one-sided. So never hesitate if you have something kind or constructive, I guess, to say. So I would just love to sit here and chat with you all. I don't know who is looking back at me right now through the camera, if you're like way up north or across the ocean or wherever, but oh man, just know that I wish that we could all sit down together and share some apple pie and just chat about struggles in life and just feel like we are all connected. But since we can't do that, I made this video. I hope it was interesting or helpful or inspiring to you. Also, don't forget to click on the link down below to get your 2-month free trial of Skillshare. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate that you're here. I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.